Um, First of all, my name is Mohamed Abdisalan from Somalia, one of the students of OUM University Malaysia in collaboration with Simad University Somalia. I and my colleague Suleiman Abdullahi will present our assignment video. Our assignment will be WASH project implemented by WARDI. So this is the introduction of the assignment. Our names are here, Mohamed Abdisalan. Also my colleague Suleiman Abdullahi. The course name is Project Management. Assignment topic is WASH project implemented by WARDI. Before I start my presentation, I really thank my facilitators, our facilitators, Dr. Ali Yassin and Engineer Abdul Qadir. Also, I really appreciate the efforts of Dr. Yonis, Dean of Postgraduate. The organizational profile of WARDI looks like this. WARDI Relief and Development Initiative is a national non-profit making and non-government organizations founded June 1993. Subsequently registered on the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Federal Government of Somalia. So this picture is WARDI staff working one of the health facilities located in Mogadishu. So the organization was formed by a group of professionals from different professional backgrounds, including water and sanitation, health, food, agriculture and livestock, also environment and other fields of social science. So currently WARDI, if we look geographical coverage of WARDI Relief and Development Initiative, currently WARDI program is covering 6 regions, including South Central Somalia, like Galgaduud region, Hiran region, also Lower Shabelle and Middle Shabelle regions, and also Bakol regions. When talking map of Somalia, WARDI Relief works the mostly the regions of Somalia. In Hiran, it particularly focuses on agricultural activities, though Hiran economy depends on the mostly and river and farmers. So there is more projects going on in that regions. If we talk about the literature review of our project, WASH stands for water and sanitation hygiene and is the one of the 3 main sectors of humanitarian operations. So the other is being food and health. Climate change has growing and significant impact on the WASH among vulnerable people. Humanitarian aid alone will not be able to continue to address the rapidly growing needs. So the role of improving resilience and linking relief, rehabilitation and development led is vital to helping meet these needs before they become humanitarian emergencies. In the face of rapidly growing WASH needs, coordination on WASH is crucial to ensure the most efficient use of resources available. ECHO 2014. So this picture indicates one of some beneficiaries working their normal life. So this a European Commission photo. According to the African Bank Development 2016 report, the approach taken by the proposed water infrastructure and rehabilitation project aims to address most gaps through the development policy for the sector mainstreaming environmental concern in the project through the use of the tested technology. So, rehabilitation of public buildings, including water testing labs and equipping them, and development of human capacity through training to run the sector. So these efforts need to be complemented through comprehensive hydrology survey to improve the success rate of the borehole drilling in the country. So particularly South Central Zone and mainstream environmental concern of the projects. When talking project data, WARDI Relief and Development Initiative particularly targets the most vulnerable members of the society, mainly women and young children. Also, it focuses on the issues of health, wash, also livelihoods, also education and skill development, as well as other human rights issues such as protection, HIV/AIDS, gender-based violence, with a special focus on women and youth empowerment through civic education, skill development, and income generation activities, IGA. So the project data of this project implementing by WARDI Relief will look like this when it's talking project data. So WARDI Relief and Development Initiative works on the basis people-centered approach. So this advantage is to help them claim their rights and eliminate injustice. So WARDI will work with the grassroots to achieve it is ambitious and learn the reality on the ground. Poverty, injustice, and also marginalization of can be eliminated with the poor and disadvantaged taking charge of their lives to realize change. So as the photo indicates, totally WARDI works on the basis people-centered approach. When the project comes, they set with the beneficiaries, then they eliminate, to make registers injustice. So project cost management by using appropriate techniques will present my colleague Sulaiman Abdullahi. The next slides. Thank you very much.
I will continue my colleague Mohamed, the presentation as he mentioned before. So I will present the project cost management by using appropriate techniques. As Mohamed mentioned before, the project management it requires when implementing, especially the WASH project as indicated before, to use appropriate project cost management. This WASH project had ensured project management and it's prioritized during the cost planning, estimation, budgeting, and controlling. the risk is also to avoid the risks of that come in the future plans. While when we're talking about the cost management also, it's kind of cost management appropriate techniques that we are using to implement the project management. So the cost management, it's overall and it's a very complicated process. You know, when you planning or the project, it's sometimes it's a complicated. But if we use the appropriate techniques like cost planning, budgeting, and controlling, it will be a good process. Also, this kind of project management, it's a complicated process and critical project management knowledge area. When we're talking about the planning, when you plan the project implementation, you have to reach that the project implementation plan that as you see the picture, the project management plan, the team, they are planning as the picture here. So when you plan the project, the planning, cost, budgeting, and controlling, and that's why the WARDI they use the WASH project by using these techniques. So also, as the project we implementing, this WASH project applies, as I mentioned before, these following techniques: project resource planning. You have to plan the resources that you have when you start the project. Sometimes you have to know what resource you have, where you get in the resource. From donor, from community contribution, from where. Also, you have to have a cost estimation, project cost estimation. It's whereby you using some estimations that you collected from the implementation areas that my colleague Mohamed mentioned before. Some regions you have to have a cost estimation. Maybe some locations or some geographies, maybe they have a different. Also, the cost budgeting. When you get estimation cost, you have to have cost budgeting, where you have to describe the budget descriptions that need to be implemented the next year or next 6 months or whatever. And then when you finish the budgeting, you have to have controlling or monitoring. When the project cost control, it's whereby you using or you just looking that are you using over budgeting or less budget or whatever. So you have to have a control that project budget and project cost, they have to have a same states that they are using some. So if you are not using the techniques of cost control in your project, maybe you overuse or maybe sometimes you use less. The picture it's saying that estimation cost techniques, when you compare all these techniques, it's very important when you implement the project, either like this project or other projects. When we're talking about the project management also, or WASH project, like others project, we have to remember that we are using work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure, it's it's a particular important project tool. Maybe as we used before, or last slides, we say the project must has some techniques that you implementing during the project life cycle. So it's the breakdown or work breakdown. It's considerable through the planning. It's this stage we are going to use when we are planning. So it's a beginning. So we can say we should give this development and implementation so that subsequent and changes are minimized. If you are not planning or you don't have any work plan, maybe you failure to implement it, or it's sometimes difficult to implement the project. So you have to have a plan. So the major revisions of work breakdown requires both substantial efforts and resources due to application of wide area of project activities. Maybe you have sometimes a big activities that you need to achieve in short time, so you have to have a breakdown. So the project team led by a head of program development and work breakdown structure that arranges the project work into manageable divisions. This type of using the work breakdown structure, it's easy to understand the activities. It's you already, it's manageable. It has assigned some divisions. Maybe you assign the arranged activities some teams. So you can see the activities that assigned work package and activities, the purpose and description were the project also. And these activities, it's assigned. It's when you make a work breakdown structure, you are using you can describe the activity, description, and responsible person. So it's easier to follow up when it comes the monitoring and evaluation or control. So it's a lot of activities that maybe you have to get reports quarterly. Maybe you can say we need to get these activity reports by quarterly in terms of responsible persons. Also, this one it's a duration of the activity. If the activity has a duration, you can easily know that the activity at what time activity is ending. So you can definitely know who is responsible at what time and which activity. When we are using this WASH project, they are using critical path diagram, as you see this one. That this diagram is very important when you lead the projects or the project managers or the project team. If they are not using this, because it's defined the activity, so also it's using a network of diagrams. So the activities it's connected to each other. So it's easy to understand where it's ended and where it starts. So it's very easy, the manager or project manager, to understand how this activity starts and where it's ended. So project organization, for this work project organization, it uses this refers to type of structure. When you're using the project management, you have to have a structure that the people, they have duties and responsibilities. All the project This indicated that project team that operates as independent. Sometimes the team, they have independent activities. Sometimes they have dependent activities that depend on each other. So the organization, as showing the picture here, the chief executive is one who running the organization, this type of project, and others, they have two teams, the project coordinator team and the project managers that we call the staff. So this diagram is showing that the activities were separated by the team, so it's very easy to understand who is responsible and which time they are using. So the structure look like this: the General Assembly, Board of Directors, Executive Directors, Deputy Executive Director. So it's divided some projects, some operational teams, so some operation that are leading the project director, or others, they are one who also there is a HR, there is a planning. So this type of project, I mean, they are using the type WARDI they are using. So it's very understandable that they are controlling stuff they are using in this project. Project lesson learning. This project from the quick survey that we conducted through the Google, from the following important have been recorded: the WASH project lesson learning. Avoid the clan damage that can cause scope changes and cost overruns. If we learn this project that if we use the above techniques of project, we will avoid, or that will not happen to make any damage. Enable project managers to learn or what, and maybe they have lead a balance of for percentage of schedule and cost. If you sit or make the cost planning and schedule, you have to have read that you plan it and cost it. To identify the project team that are not set up tasky and direct crisis, those are maybe lead to project failures. Also, when you are using the project techniques or project, you will identify to avoid the project failures that you are learned before. Also, learning excellency, motivational skills. In the team, they have a good learning skills for project managers, putting into the good practices, so they have good practices in terms of project running or project management. So this project learning lesson, identifying, analyzing, storing, so retrieving, and that means you learning something before you implementing the project. Project, if the management project does not support the learning from the past mistakes, so the success of progress is if the managers are not learning what they have seen in the projects, maybe sometimes that program is affected when they come other managers for other organizations like the word they are using. So similarly, the project managers does not create opportunity to discuss lesson learning. So that WASH project management wants to learn WARDI and continue to improving in his of the project. So the next projects, maybe we can learn at least to use the lesson learning that WARDI project WASH that applies at least some good techniques that we have learned. As you see the picture, any question, and I thank you.